Hi, I'm Chris Kimbrough, owner of Starz Barber and Beauty. Today we're here on the campus of UWGB at our Starz location. You're welcome. Come on in. All right, today we're going to cut Dean Ryan Martin's hair, and I want to make him look a little extra pretty.
All right, so tell me, when someone sits down in the chair, how do you start? Kind of give people a little bit of a tutorial.
Normally, I, of course, introduce myself when the client comes in, because, of course, we do have a lot of new clientele coming as well by being a college location. But for the most part, it's mostly introducing myself, finding out exactly what type of hairstyle, haircut they want, you know.
Tell people where you learned to do this.
It was a God-given talent. My mom, we grew up struggling, and normally she wouldn't buy me, things that we wouldn't necessarily need at the moment. You know what I mean? Like if we didn't need it, it wasn't too much of a, extra stuff coming out. Now, don't get me wrong, I got some stuff that I wanted to, but for the most part, clippers wasn't nothing that was needed at the time. But I asked my mom, like, hey, I want to learn how to cut hair, buy me some clippers. Mm-hmm. And I just started practicing on myself, man, and family members and things like that nature. And I'm a real observer. I learn a lot by observing. So I'm able to kind of watch what a person does and kind of learn from that and then go home and practice on somebody. You have to be able to see the product before you get it. You know what I mean? Like that's the main part about barbering. The artistry part of it is because you're building a masterpiece, if it makes sense. You know what I mean? Right. Like people come to your hair and I haven't had a haircut in months. And some I've had, man, when last time you got your haircut? Man, I got it cut last year. Last year? What were you doing? And so now you got to try to recreate this masterpiece that they're accustomed to being and seeing. Right. And that's why it's such a self-esteem builder, because you can be really down on the dumps, man, and not have any money, but you get your hair done, haircut or something like that, it's like it just makes you a better person. You feel better. I don't know. So I always tell people it's a real big self-esteem booster, and that's one of the main reasons that I use it for kids. Like even during the summer, we've had, I pull up at a park in the community without notice and just try to pull kids to the park. Well, how do we pull kids to the park? Off of free haircuts. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Free haircuts for the kid. Mom's gonna bring them because she don't want to spend the money. And guess what? The kids get a chance to get out the house, and do other things that they need to do, Right. So it's such a blessing like that, man.
That's it really amazing. Is. Yeah.
It grew into something big, man, and it's something I always wanted to do. And even when I was, in law enforcement, I still was, cutting hair on the side, and it's just a trade that always stuck with me.
Right. There's two parts to this. In part, we didn't talk about this during the podcast episode, but there's a business side to this too, right? There's the artistry of cutting hair, but then there's the business side. Where did you learn that?
Business, believe it or not, it's crazy because for me, I tend to, again, I'm an observer. Mm-hmm. So I tend to watch what some barbers who business owners, like I worked in different shops, right? Growing up. So if your shop was successful, I learned from that. If your shop was not successful, I learned from that too. So I kind of learned to start doing things my way that work best for me and my family and my, my team, my barbers, because a lot of times you follow people and it don't be, that's their journey. It's not necessarily yours. Right. And so I try to, whatever God just tell me to do, I try to follow that method, man. It's been working.
Did you have any struggles along the way as far as any missteps or things you had to learn from or do differently?
Of course, every business does. It's about learning customers, learning how to talk to people. A lot of people wouldn't believe it, but I'm really an introvert. Okay. I don't really like dealing with a lot of people.
I don't think of you that way.
A lot of people don't, but believe me, I am. God put on my heart to create a clothing brand named Big Wall Street. And the purpose of the Big Wall Street, the name, is more of a networking for the community. I like to bring things together to be the bridge builder for the community, for the city, for whoever. And along the way, you network with business. So for me, it's just a name that kind of came accustomed to me, and I've been going with it, living by it, because I try to make sure that I, network with people and do the right things with everybody. Just kind of how I am. And so God gave me the mind to open it up and start it. And so that's kind of what I do. I use that to be able to fund a lot of the kids programs that I do as well. 'Cause I do a lot of kids programs in the city.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's talk about that because there's one coming up, right? What, August 24th?
August the 24th is the All-Star Youth Celebration. That'll be our 3rd year doing that. Last year, I think it was over 1,000 kids we was able to bless with book bags and school gear and clothing. And we had boxes of shoes, clothes, underwear, socks. Like, we had a lot of food trucks in the area that was out there.
Right.
It was really nice. It really was. It was really nice.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So what inspired that?
Again, I come from a home that, my mom gave me everything she could, no doubt. But a lot of times, she just couldn't afford a lot of things. So I know how kids feel when they're here and can't have anything. And I understand today's society, we have a lot of kids that's growing up without fathers. We have a lot of kids growing up even without big brothers. They don't have nobody to look up to, a father figure, or, even a male role model that can guide them in the right way. And so, I mean, hey, it's one of the things God has placed on my plate. Mm-hmm. And so I want to give them something to be able to look forward to. And even me, like I wear my chain, my necklace on my neck, whatever, I have my gold watch on. And I try to encourage kids that, hey, you don't have to sell drugs to have the nice things in life. You don't have to go ahead and rob people to have the nice things in life. You actually can work a good job and be able to sustain yourself and be stable and still have everything you want in life.
Right.
So it's just trying to lead by example, by different means, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot, again, I say my motto that I try to live by, it don't always work for me sometimes because I be frustrated as well. So I'm human, but I try to live by the motto, you can't complain about what's on your plate when your whole goal was to eat. So I try to live by that. That's a reminder when I get frustrated on everything I got going on, like, hey, you can't complain about it. Because your whole goal, this is what you wanted to do. So now it's on your plate, you gotta go through it.
So you've been in law enforcement. Mm-hmm. You've got a clothing brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
You run like assisted living facilities for adults, and you've got Starz. Mm-hmm. So I keep trying to figure out like what connects all these things. And I think the word that keeps coming to mind is community.
Community, I was just gonna say it, community. I'm a real big community guy, me being ex-law enforcement. It's like one of those things that even though I'm not wearing the badge anymore, I still have a love for my community that I'm in. And that means kids, that means, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I love all my adults, but I just have a special place in my heart for kids because they have nobody to, they have to be, whatever somebody tell them to do, almost they gotta do it because they're young, they're little kids,
Right.
I'd be surprised a lot of times how kids that, they got this new thing now, they call me Unc. I don't think I'm that old, but they call me Unc. But it's, at first I was like, man, what do you mean? I'm not your Unc. But then I started realizing Unc was a level of respect that they gave to individuals that they felt like was, due to that nature, that name. Mm-hmm. And so I try to hold up to it. I try to be that for them, you know what I mean? Like, okay. And it works because, I've had situations where the young man may be in trouble or something or doing some stupid stuff in the street and I happen to pull up and it's like, hey man, come on now. Mm-hmm. And just that type of me being on scene gave them some, you know what I mean? Like, okay, all right, Unc here, y'all better be glad Unc here, whatever, Right. But I don't take that lightly. It's been a long journey. All I can say, it's one that I always tell people, and like I think I said it the other day while I was there, is a major part in growing in society and life is letting your past go that, is over with. And you realize there are a lot of people, for me, I try to live a certain way that, again, I can be an example to people. Mm-hmm. And I'm not perfect by no way, form, or fashion. Like, I have my faults and flaws like everybody else, but for the most part, man, I've lived a long life. I think it's a long life. I've lived a wild life because law enforcement, barbering, and it's so much I've seen in my own eyes, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And in the world of barbering, in the world of law enforcement, you see a lot, you come in contact with a lot of people. So it's like one of them things you learn a lot, man, through what you've seen in life. And I try my best to, attach that with my life and so I can learn a lot more and help other people. And already, since I've been in the school here, I've helped young students, man, come through and just need their life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I told them when I first came here, like, I want to make sure that I can run the shop like a shop, you know what I mean? Like a barber shop that's out here in the community because they need that space to talk. They need that space to be able to, you know what I mean? And just vent.
It comes back to that community piece, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just the community, it's the community inside the shop.
Yeah. It's bigger than barbering. It's way bigger than barbering.